It's a Cyclone State, people. That's all there is to it. Ugly, but it's a Cyclone State.
2-0 is better than 1-1.
It is. And speaking of 1-1, you're going against a 1-1 team, FCS team, but a scary FCS team.
I'm not worried.
Okay,
I'm not worried. I've been hearing all week so far. You're going 1-2. You're going 1-2. You're going 1-2. Maybe we are going 1-2, and I can care less if we're going 1-2. But I'll tell you why we're not going 1-2, because it's UNI. 2009, UNI had a great chance to win. Much like Iowa Saturday, they had a chance to win. Actually, they had a couple of chances to beat Iowa 3 years ago. All they got to do is kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Oops,
Twice.
it was blocked. Oh, we'll try again because we were smart and knew the rules when ball's blocked behind line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Recover that. Iowa just watched it. They're taking on their phone.
Well, to be honest with you, the UNI
Foursquare got the fumble. I'm the mayor of 40-yard line.
The UNI guy did the same thing though. He had the first one kind of looked at it with the Iowa guy, and they're like, "You or me? Which one should?"
I thought maybe they got to let it grow more football or something. They're just watching, but Iowa's not going to take this lightly. The coaches are going to have the team prepared. Iowa comes back from this. Now, I also kind of expected Iowa to play a little more solid offensively last week, but I think a lot of credit has to go with Iowa State defense. The defenses Iowa is facing these first 2 weeks, Northern Illinois has a good defense, Iowa State, great defense, in my opinion. They're not going to stack up as well as UNI, and a lot of people will say, well, but UNI nearly beat Wisconsin. Well, we saw what happened to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin can't put up numbers right now.
And they're going through, Wisconsin will be all right. They're going through some coordinator issues as well, like Iowa. They're getting things sorted out. They'll be fine, but Iowa's getting things figured out. I would hate to be UNI Saturday because I think I predicted a fairly sizable victory for Iowa. I think it's going to be even more.
Okay. And that being said, UNI, I don't want to put this so you agree because I don't want to disagree here. They probably feel as if they can, and they're probably licking their chops, though.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
If I was UNI, I would think I got them right where I want them, and we're going to go in and we're going to beat them even worse. Because if I'm UNI, I'm thinking all I got to do is win by 4 points, and we win the mythical state football championship.
Yep.
And that ain't going to happen.
Yeah. And I think
because that's how UNI people think. Well, they even make T-shirts that say Iowa State won their games by this much, but UNI won their games by this much, so UNI is the state champion.
Well, whatever you got to hang your hat on, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Iowa State sometimes thinks we're little brother. They're like,
no
8 years later, little brother.
Yeah, they're the adopted one. But any UNI fans out there, we're sorry. Drake's the foster child. Okay, so
non-scholarship.
Yeah. All right, but my thoughts are Iowa's going to win this game. I don't know about the margin that you predicted, but I think they're going to win this game. The reason is Iowa's defense is good. I truly believe that. They made Jantz look somewhat normal, which we didn't want to see happen, but they did. They held a really good offense. Granted, you had the turnovers there. I guess it could have turned into a laugher, but it didn't, and a lot of that has to go to the credit of Iowa's defense. I think Iowa State's defense is pretty spectacular this year. Tulane played Tulsa last week, and middle of second quarter. I mean, you're talking like 8 minutes left in the second quarter. It's 35-3, Tulsa on top. Tulsa has an offense, people, and they showed they had an offense for a quarter, and then our defense stepped it up last week. So we get Western Illinois. Do you know anything about Western Illinois?
Well, they're I think out of Monmouth, Illinois, maybe. I think it's Monmouth.
Okay.
What are they? The Leathernecks?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Purple and yellow, maybe colors.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't really know much about these guys. No. I know they're 2-0. They beat Indianapolis, so Andrew Luck must not have had a very good game. And they beat somebody else. I couldn't tell you who. I want to say that I feel like this is going to become that laugher that could have happened at Iowa, but at the same time, I get cocky. I go back and I say Louisiana Monroe.
And they were down 21.
And they were down 21 points, and they knocked off number 8 Arkansas. I know Arkansas didn't have their quarterback playing, for a large portion of that second half, but
Western, they normally play like the UNIs, and they're
an FCS,
or Gateway or whatever.
But do you say Arkansas's here, Iowa State's here, so Louisiana Monroe's here, and it's an even spread?
Yeah, I would say so.
So if that's the case, it's college football. Any given Saturday, right?
Yeah, they're not Savannah State.
No.
But they're not Florida State either.
Yeah.
So they're...
What we need to do is we just need to go out and we need to take care of business. We cannot go in there saying, well, we're 2-0. We beat Tulsa. We beat Iowa. We're one of 2 teams in the nation right now that have played 2 FBS schools, and the 2 FBS schools that we've played have beaten an FBS team.
There you go.
With UCLA. Saw that stat today.
That's a good one.
That's a good stat.
Yeah, way to go.
I didn't just pull that out on my own, although I'd like to take credit for it. We need to come out. We need to take care of business. This is no different than going into Iowa and playing with that type of emotion. Okay, we need to just go in. We just need to take care of it. That's what national champions do. They take care of it week in and week out. I want to say that we're going to beat them. I do think we're going to beat them. I think we can beat them by 28 points, somewhere in that neighborhood. We just have to do it.
Years ago, I think this would have been a tougher game for them to be prepared for. But with Coach Rhodes coming in, I think he'll have them realizing, it goes from, hey, we're Iowa State, we beat Iowa, our season's complete now because we've got the trophy, we're good. If we can do well in the Big 12, that's great, that's gravy. But now it's, hey, we beat Iowa, we're 2-0. We've been to a bowl game, a couple bowl games. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I don't think Rhodes is a guy that's going to ever be content.
And it's none of this, let's just get to 6 stuff now.
Yeah.
Let's get to 8, let's get to 10.
Yeah.
And no, it's great. And this should be number 3 on Saturday and make it happen.
And they'll set up a nice Big 12 opener against Texas Tech. Both teams should be 3-0 at that point, and we're going to determine, which one's the better 3-0 from what's predicted as the bottom half of the conference.
If you base it all last year, I think Iowa State probably wins this one by 20.
No, I hope so. I would
I don't see
that.
Texas Tech getting any better than what they were last year, and they came in guns a-blazing last year, and Iowa State said, "Hey, we're not impressed."
Yeah, 41-7 at their place.
Was that the week after they beat Oklahoma?
That was the week they beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, we beat Oklahoma. We're pretty good. We're going to take on Iowa State, and we're going to lose by 34.
Yeah, not a pretty game for them at all, not in the least. So, I guess to recap it, 9-6, Clones for another year, and let's just hope that these 3-point games continue.
Yes, I like it.
44-41, now we're looking at 9-6. It was a defensive game. If you're a fan of defense, you had to like that game.
Absolutely.
So, anything else on the docket?
No.
Okay. All right. So anyway, we've got some of you out there that are 3-0, some that are 2-1. We do have some 1 and 2s. They're gonna have to try to come back on that one.
I'm married to one of them.
Yeah. Yes, you are. And keep letting us know. This will be up, very soon, so you guys can come in and enjoy the show.
Absolutely. And what I will say is you can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, email us at CyHawkThoughts at yahoo.com. But if you got something you want to talk to us about, send us an email, shoot us a post.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with what we're saying, say, hey, I don't agree with what you're saying.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
And just a quick stat out there that I really find enjoyable. For some reason, I'm all about stats today. But
look at you.
Iowa State, since Paul Rhodes has been at the helm, has been favored in 8 games. He is 20-20. He's won more games as an underdog than he's even been credited for as a favorite.
Yeah.
That's an amazing stat.
Do you think that some of that is because it's Iowa State, or they're not getting the credit that they should have gotten because they're Iowa State, or do you think it's just those odds makers know exactly what they're doing,
No, I think.
Or you think it's a little bit of both, and that Paul Rhodes is that good, and odds makers.
Well, here's the thing. When you look at Vegas, okay, they want to see it even on both sides. That way, no matter what the outcome is, they win money, right? And that's the way it works. So you can't really put it on Vegas. You want to, I even put in my preseason prediction that we proved Vegas wrong. Well, it's true, you prove Vegas wrong because they're the one that sets the lines, but it's actually the people betting on the games that are the ones that are wrong.
Right.
So Vegas has sports gurus. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. They're the ones that set the original line because they think that's where it's going to be, and people go from there. Okay, so they do have some fault in it.
Watch Casino; it'll kind of explain it all for you.
But the people betting on the game, it's the Iowa State factor because we're not a nationally known program. Okay, right. And so these people are like, let's see here. Well, I've heard of Kansas; they've got a good basketball team. And Iowa State, I don't really know much about them. I don't have to go with Kansas. Well, don't go with Kansas. They're horrible at football, but you've got these people that bet that don't really know what they're betting on in some cases.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of it has to do with the name, which is fine because if you're looking to find out what coach has just destroyed the odds, you look no farther than Rhodes.
There you go.
Basically.
Absolutely.
I mean, basically. So, just another little stat I threw out there. Kind of in that mood. Been in a good mood this week so far.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm never going to complain when we can get the Hawks. But from this point on, you know what I'm hoping to see? Probably not going to happen, but I'm hoping to see an 11-1 Hawks team.
Hey, well, thank you. It's happened before.
It has happened before, so if it happens again, I just hope that Iowa State's 12-0. That's all.
Even better.
12-0.
What's wrong with that? Here's my stat, if we're going to call it a stat.
Or Stat Tuesday.
Let's go back to 2002. Iowa loses. Last time Iowa lost to Iowa State at Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
The next week they had to play Miami of Ohio, which featured a quarterback named Ben Roethlisberger.
At Miami of Ohio, wasn't it?
It was. They had to travel. And they had to put on a defensive stand and then run the clock out just to get out of there alive that game.
That was a good game.
So, UNI game was a good game. UNI game, maybe it is close, maybe it's a blowout. I don't know. I'm going with blowout. But no matter what happens, even if they win by 1 point, and people are like, oh, they might beat UNI by 1 point. Hey, the road to 11-1 10 years ago had plenty of peril, and I still say they would not have gone 12-0 had they beat Iowa State because of the Miami Ohio game. They had to figure out how to win because they couldn't do it against Iowa State. They had to figure out the Purdue game, which was crazy. Probably should have lost that, but Dallas Clark's still running with the ball there, and I just think that's how it is. I think Iowa will take care of business, but if they stumble a little bit, again, don't think it's the end of the world, but Hawk fans are ready for the ledge again last Saturday, and it's just crazy. Give them some time. It's a young team.
It is. And you guys will be fine. Once that conference rolls around, you're not going to see defenses like Iowa State's, okay? You're going to be playing. Who do you got on the schedule? You've got, Purdue might be pretty good this year, based on what we're seeing. I'm not scared.
Depends how much faith you put in or stock you put in Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true.
But Indiana, Northwestern.
They had a decent win over Vanderbilt. The thing about it is Iowa's defense is going to be able to shut down those offenses, and Iowa's offense is going to be good enough to get past their defense, okay? So I still have Iowa probably looking at like an 8-4 season. For a team right now that everyone's calling for the coach's head, that's a pretty good season.
Absolutely. I'll take 8-4 again. That's what we had under Hayden Fry every year, and occasionally a Rose Bowl appearance. Hey, I'm not upset with that. BCS every now and then, 7-5, 8-4. Otherwise, I'm cool with that. It's a bowl game. I'm happy.
So, well, that's going to take care of today's show. It was a good show. Always good. It was.
We're going to tell you that every time, too.
It was. Whether you liked it or not, it was a good show.
It was a good show.
It's never easy for either you or I to come into this week being on the losing side. But
how would you know? You've never had to come and do it on a losing side.
You were supposed to bring that up. I was supposed to do it.
It's never easy.
Never easy, I don't know. But thanks for joining us. Go Cyclones. It's our state. And we'll see you next week after a couple of victories over some FCS teams.
Yeah!
First, Chuck Utek, Steve Myers.
Don't touch that dial.